Khloé Kardashian faces explosive backlash as Tristan asks her to take down disgusting ad featuring True and Dream. What if someone used your own children to sell a product and you had absolutely no idea it was happening? Now imagine finding out the way millions of people did, online, in real time, with the whole internet watching and forming opinions before you could even pick up the phone. That is not a hypothetical scenario. That is exactly what allegedly went down between Khloé Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. And honey, the internet did not handle it quietly. Welcome back to Celebrity Watchdog, where we sniff out the drama, the receipts, and everything in between. Let us get into it. Quick favor before we dive deep. If you are new here and you are already feeling the energy, hit that subscribe button right now. Over 92% of viewers have not done it yet. It's free, takes literally 1 second, and it means the absolute world to us. And if you already did, you are a legend. Okay, now back to the show. So here is where this whole thing starts. Khloé Kardashian, mogul, Good American founder, reality TV royalty, and mother of two, True Thompson and little Dream Kardashian, apparently gave the green light to an advertisement that featured both of her children. And on the surface, that sounds totally normal. Celebrities put their kids in campaigns all the time. It's practically a rite of passage in the Kardashian-Jenner universe. But this was not just any ad. This was an ad that Tristan Thompson, the father of both children, let us not forget, allegedly had zero knowledge about before it went live. And when he found out, oh, he was not sending a polite email. He was reportedly furious, calling the ad disgusting and demanding it be taken down immediately. Now, whether you are Team Khloé, Team Tristan, or just Team Pass the Popcorn, you have to admit this situation has layers, so many layers that we are going to peel them back one by one, because the full picture here is a lot more complicated and a lot more explosive than the headlines are letting on. Let's talk about the ad itself, because context is everything. The advertisement in question was reportedly connected to a product or brand partnership that Khloé has been building as part of her ever-expanding business portfolio. Khloé is not just a Kardashian. She's a businesswoman in her own right. Good American, her denim and fashion brand, has been one of the most body-inclusive and commercially successful celebrity ventures in recent memory, and her personal brand is heavily tied to her identity as a mother. True and Dream are a part of her world, her content, and apparently this campaign. The children appeared in what sources described as promotional content that Tristan found deeply inappropriate for their age and the nature of the product being marketed. And before you ask, no, we are not talking about anything fringe or scandalous in the traditional sense, but apparently the optics, the tone, or the product category itself was something Tristan felt strongly enough about to go from 0 to 100 real fast. Now let's talk about the man himself, Tristan Thompson. If you have been living under a rock, allow us to give you the highlight reel. Tristan is an NBA player who has had a relationship with Khloé that reads less like a love story and more like a Netflix drama. Multiple cheating scandals, a baby with another woman, Morale Nichols, that came out while he and Khloé were reportedly trying to work things out, a paternity test confirmed live on the internet for all of us to witness together as a society. And yet, despite all of that, Khloé and Tristan have maintained a co-parenting relationship that by most accounts, they have tried to keep civil for the sake of their children. Tristan has publicly expressed his desire to be a present and involved father. He has posted about True and Dream with genuine warmth, and on this particular issue, the ad, he reportedly felt that his parental rights and opinion were being completely bypassed, that Khloé made a unilateral decision that involved their children and their public image without his input. And depending on which side of the fence you sit on, that's either totally understandable or a little rich coming from the man with the track record he has. But here's where it gets even more interesting, and this is the part that the hot take crowd on social media completely glossed over. Khloé didn't put Dream in this ad alone. Dream is Tristan's daughter with his ex Rob Kardashian's former fiancé, Blac Chyna. So Dream being in a Kardashian-backed campaign without Tristan's knowledge is not just a parenting co-decision issue. It's potentially a legal one, because Dream has two parents, and any major public-facing use of her image for commercial purposes could very well require consent from both sides of her family. This detail turned what started as a messy celebrity spat into something with real, potentially legally significant undertones. And that's not tabloid speculation. That's just how parental rights and child image licensing works in the state of California, where these folks are based. The internet, to its credit, actually picked up on this thread pretty quickly, which only fanned the flames higher. Now let's zoom out and talk about the public reaction, because that's a story all on its own. When word broke that Tristan had labeled the ad disgusting and was demanding it come down, social media split into predictable factions at warp speed. On one side, Khloé's defenders, and they came out swinging. Their argument, Khloé is the primary caregiver. She is present. She is the one raising these children day in and day out, while Tristan is off doing whatever Tristan does. And for him to suddenly have an opinion about how her children appear in content when he hasn't exactly been father of the year, that reads as controlling. That reads as someone trying to reassert power in a co-parenting dynamic after burning every bridge in his path. Khloé has earned the right to make decisions about her children's public lives, and Tristan showing up now with demands is a little too late and a little too convenient. On the other side, and this is where it gets genuinely complicated, there were voices saying that no matter what Tristan has done personally, he is still legally and morally a father, and fathers do get a say when it comes to their minor children appearing in commercial advertising. His personal failures as a partner do not erase his parental standing, and if the ad involved Dream, then it involves a child who has another active parent, Blac Chyna, who was conspicuously absent from this entire conversation. The fact that Dream's image was being used in a Kardashian campaign without what appears to be a full circle of parental buy-in made some people deeply uncomfortable, and honestly, that discomfort is not entirely without merit. And then there was the third group, the people who pointed to the Kardashian family's long and well-documented history of monetizing family life and children's images through Keeping Up with the Kardashians and its spin-offs, and asking whether this is really any different. Because let us be honest, True and Dream have been on camera, in content, and in the public eye since they were born. The Kardashian machine runs on relatability and intimacy. Babies are part of the brand. So why is this particular ad the line in the sand? What made this one cross from adorable family content into disgusting, as Tristan reportedly called it? That question lingered in the air, and it is the question that not nearly enough outlets were actually pressing. Here is what we know about Khloé's response to all of this, and this is telling. Khloé, who is not exactly known for staying quiet when she feels attacked, reportedly took a more measured approach publicly. No explosive social media post, no Twitter or whatever we are calling it now, takedown. Instead, sources close to her insisted that she had proper clearances and permissions in place for the ad, that the content was entirely age-appropriate, and that Tristan's reaction was overblown and emotionally driven rather than grounded in any legitimate legal or ethical concern. Khloé's camp was essentially saying, he is making this bigger than it needs to be, and the children are fine. However, and this is a significant however, the ad was reportedly modified or quietly pulled from certain platforms in the days following the controversy, which, if everything was truly above board and everyone had signed off, raises an obvious question. Why? Because here's the thing about PR moves in Hollywood. Silence and removal are sometimes louder than any statement. If you pull an ad after someone publicly objects to it, you are implicitly validating the objection, whether you intend to or not. The internet noticed, and the internet, as it always does, had thoughts. What this situation ultimately exposes is something that the Kardashian family has danced around for years: the tension between building a brand around your family, particularly your children, and the ethical complexity that comes with involving minors who cannot fully consent to their own public image. True is a child. Dream is a child. They cannot look at a contract, evaluate the optics of an ad campaign, and decide whether it serves their best interests. Their parents have to do that for them. And when the parents are not on the same page, or worse, when one parent makes that decision without the other, it opens a can of worms that goes far beyond celebrity gossip. It touches on real questions about child welfare, parental authority, and the commodification of kids in the influencer and celebrity economy. And this is not unique to Khloé. This conversation is happening across the influencer space right now. There are legislators in multiple states looking at laws that would give children of content creators rights to the income generated by content they appear in. The Coogan law for the social media age, some people are calling it. The Khloé and Tristan situation is a high-profile flashpoint in a much bigger debate that is only going to get louder. So where does this leave us? Khloé Kardashian is a mother who built a business empire in part around her identity as a parent. Tristan Thompson is a father with a complicated history, who may or may not have legitimate grounds for his objections, depending on which attorney you ask. Their children are caught in the middle of a public spat that neither of them asked for, and the internet is, as usual, watching, judging, and live tweeting the entire thing, Celebrity Watchdog included. What we will say is this: whatever your feelings about either of these individuals, the conversation they have accidentally started is one worth having. About who gets to make decisions for children in the public eye. About what we owe kids who grow up in front of cameras before they can even ask not to. About the limits of personal branding when the people in your brand cannot legally opt out. That is the real story here. Not just two famous people arguing over an ad, but a window into something much bigger. And as always, we will be right here with our magnifying glasses and our very strong opinions, watching every development so you do not have to. Thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means everything to us here at Celebrity Watchdog. We will catch you in the next one.